Today we're going to do an oil change on the Honda Fury 1300. I'm going to show you how to do it exactly as per Honda's own factory service manual. So you'll see everything you need, all the specifications, and you can do it exactly how a dealer is supposed to yourself and save a bunch of money. First thing you're going to want to do is run the bike for 2 to 3 minutes to warm it up and then bring it inside, kill it. You're going to want to do most of this with the bike totally upright, so you might want to have a friend to help you out or some sort of vise or wheel chock to hold the bike in place. Before you start any oil change on any vehicle, it's always a good idea to just get a sense of what your oil level was at to see if you were burning any oil. So on the Fury, you take it out, wipe it clean, put it back in. This is after it's been warmed up. And then you don't turn it, you just take it out and you see. So right here, we are between the min and the max. So this is perfect. Whoever did the oil change last time is brilliant. And now I'm gonna keep this loose enough that we can still get some airflow, but at the same time in the right place so that no dust or debris falls into there. So the first thing we're going to do is grab a 17 mil and undo the 2 drain bolts, which if you can figure out where they are, you let me know. Here's one. Best way to find your second drain plug, because it's a little bit hard to find them, is if you can see, like right above this joint, right there, pretty much underneath here, that's where the second plug is. So because it's so awkward and tight down here, I'm just gonna loosen this off, and then hopefully it's not too hot so you don't burn yourself. Oh yeah, there's a lot of oil. So next we gotta take off the oil filter. You can either use one of these like universal ones that have been around a million years if you want to. They typically work okay. Or check this out. This is a 65 millimeter 14 flute oil filter wrench, and it's specific for the filter that goes on that. You will have a perfect fit with this. You won't have to mess around with something that may or may not fit or may or may not have clearance. If you plan on keeping your Honda for a long time, I'll post a link to where you can get this. I think it's well worth it. So if you look from here, you can see that right behind this sticker, right in there, that's your oil filter. Beautiful. Now's a good time to do stuff, come back. You're gonna wait for everything to drain out, and then I grab a torque wrench. For people who don't know, you don't wanna over tighten your drain bolts when you replace them, which is the next step. And you don't wanna do that because you can end up damaging your motor by putting things too tight. You can also end up breaking part of your motor if you put things too tight. You also don't wanna have things too loose because then oil will drip right in front of your back tire and you're gonna have a bad time. You set your torque wrench. These things, you can get them for as little as like 20 bucks. They promise 96% accuracy. That's probably way more accurate than 90% of humans could guess. And you set it, in this case, we're gonna set it to, I believe, 30 Newton meters, which I think is 22 foot-pounds of torque. So you're gonna set that on your torque wrench, I'll link to where you can get them, and then put your drain bolts back on. I should also mention, now is a great time to install a new crush washer on your drain plug. Make sure that the crush washer did in fact come out, because sometimes the crush washers actually get stuck on the bottom of your motor, and then you have two, and then you start having leaks and stuff. So just make sure the old one came off. If it's in good shape, you could get away with reusing it. If it looks kind of bent or beat up, just grab yourself a new one. Try not to drop it on the floor. You might also find that your drain bolts have, I don't know how close this can focus, have like some black stuff in there. That's just little bits of metal from inside your motor. So just give everything a good wipe and then reinstall it. So with a torque wrench, it's gonna do what it normally does. And then once it gets too tight, you're gonna hear a click. See, I haven't heard it yet. Still nothing. That click right there, that was it. Do the same thing on the other one. Okay, if there's a problem with clearance, if you're having trouble getting enough space to do the work underneath there, you might have to actually put the bike back on the side stand just to give yourself a little bit more room. I had to do that for the front drain bolt, and now we just gotta reinstall the oil filter, which here is the part number from Honda right there. So let's go do it. Okay, first thing we're gonna do, grab 3.7 liters of 10W40 Make sure it's motorcycle specific, not just generic oil, or you're gonna have a real bad time later. Then I like to just wet my finger with oil because Honda wants you to pre-lube this O-ring right here. Get your finger nice and oily and greasy, and then lubricate. Okay, now that this is thoroughly oily, we can install it. Of course, once that's done, I'll grab my torque wrench and I'll set it to 26 Newton meters or 19 foot-pounds. So now that that's all torqued up, the only thing left to do is to put 3.7 liters of oil in here. And again, make sure you get the stuff that's motorcycle specific. Now is when you're gonna wanna run it for a couple minutes. Just let it warm up, then let it cool down for a couple minutes, check that oil level and make sure you are good. You don't need to add any or take any out. Are you still watching? If that was easy, do me a favor, hit that like button. I'm Adrian from eMotorcycle. Your support means a lot to me. Thanks so much for watching. Ride safe, but have fun. Peace.